Right there. Right there. It says we're live. Do you see it in your corner?
There we are.
Good evening, everybody. We've got lots of folks showing up here already. Let's go ahead. Let's go up. You know who I saw first? Karen Radford. That's a good egg right there.
Hi, Karen.
She's carving out those pumpkins, right? There is Dia and Diane, Judy. Let's just hello, Helen.
Getting out our romper room, spyglass.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. We hope you all are doing well. Hello, Amy.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. That is right.
TGIM. When you're a reseller, sometimes it is TGIM because it's the start of a whole new week.
Yes. Yes.
Of possibilities.
That's right.
Hi.
Wow. Oh, Karen is making bloody brains and gut.
That is delightful, Karen.
Let's hope she's still talking about the pumpkins.
Motherly.
Her children, she goes and visits her grown children, and they have a haunted house. Like it's like what it would be in a magazine or in the movies. It's that legit.
Wow.
Like the entire yard, like mannequins and stone pillars and chain link fence, like
wow.
Hey, cranky lady.
Hey, Carmen.
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, we've got a lot of people in, and everybody, welcome back to another installment of the Vintage Rescue Bunch. What? Hello, Pat. Hello, Sandy. Okay. Oh, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian neighbors.
Right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Save us some turkey.
Right?
Hi, Barb.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and we will go around clockwise on the screen, I guess. So we're going to go around and introduce everybody, get to know everyone, and then we'll head on up into Vintage Rescue Squad. Just like every Monday evening, it's kind of like an organic kind of conversation. So if you guys do have questions down in the chat, please make sure that you are putting them in capitals. That way they do stand out a little bit better for me, and I can highlight them, and then we can kind of go around and take our turns answering it. There are a few topics that we will be talking about, but we'll see how we can kind of organically weave them in. So Diana, do you want to go first, then Misty, then Arianna, and then I'll go last? How about that?
Sounds good. So my name's Diana, and I am known as Junk in Her Trunk - Diana K on YouTube, and on Instagram, it's junk_in_her_trunk. So I'm on Instagram, and I sell part-time on eBay. And there you go.
Okay.
That's what I do.
That's what she does.
That's what I do.
And you sell on eBay, Diana?
Yes. Yep, I have. I've been selling on eBay for about a little bit more than a year and a half. So.
And what does part-time to you look like?
It is, I probably make about.
Well, you don't have to give us a
month.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
there you go.
I think he just meant like, what is it like time frame, like time wise? Like how many hours a week do you?
Oh, sorry.
No,
well, I mean,
girl, you want to throw out them dollar figures and you're comfortable with it. I mean, live your life.
Until I get to the thousands, then I might keep it.
Yeah.
But,
right.
Yeah. I probably go sourcing about one day a week, couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it depends on though.
Yeah, but you call yourself part-time, but how much time are you putting into your business though?
I'm going to say about 15 to 20 hours a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So between listing, sourcing, yeah, listing takes the most time.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah.
It sure does. It sure does. I hate the photography part. I like the listing part. I hate
Do
the
you?
photography. I hate taking pictures.
Mm.
Hate with a capital H. Hate. Because I'm not good at it.
Well, you really have to have good lighting source and a
Well, it
good.
doesn't matter. I do, and I still am
Oh,
not good at it.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought the box. So I'm horrible at it. And I'll take a picture and I'm thinking that it's all even and then I'm going to
Mhm.
edit it and it's like no, it's not. I don't know. I don't think I can see things correctly. I don't know what's going on, but I'm horrible at it. I get so frustrated with pictures.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that too. Lauren, we actually aren't from Ohio. We all just met in Ohio. So, Diana, where, if you don't mind, what state are you shipping from? How about that?
I'm shipping from Minnesota, southern Minnesota, kind of on the Iowa border. Not
Okay.
far from the Iowa border. So yeah. That's where I ship away.
All right. And Mr. Sister Friend, like she needs any introduction.
Well, I'm
Mm-mm.
in Indiana. I'm in Indiana, southern Indiana. I'm about 2 hours north of Louisville and 2 hours south of Indianapolis, or actually an hour and a half south of Indianapolis, hour and a half south of Louisville. And yeah, I mean, I have Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But I think Michael, you put all of our stuff in the. Michael put
Yes.
everyone's links to their Instagram and their YouTube channel in the
Thank you,
description.
Michael.
Of
So
course.
it's gonna be super easy for you with just to click in there and when this is over and just go and subscribe.
Mhm.
And I've met both of these lovely ladies, and I finally met Michael too. Michael and I just met in Ohio. We had never met before.
Mhm.
But I've spent time with both of these lovely ladies, and they are fabulous human beings and so much fun. And they have so much to offer. So make sure that you are going and subscribing. And we're going to talk a little bit about starting a YouTube channel and kind of all that kind of stuff tonight. But make sure that you do go and subscribe to their channels.
It's
And
free.
yeah. Jane, yes. Albert Lee.
And Miss Ariana, how about you, lady?
So I live in Georgia, nowhere close to any of you, but that's okay. I sell on eBay. I don't know if you would consider it full-time or part-time. I guess it just depends on your perspective on it. I am a full-time mom of a very amazing 4-year-old who's watching at her email's house. So hi, Eloise. I love you. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to.
Oh, of course
And
you
then
did. You're on the TV. You're like famous
Mom's on
right
TV.
now. Right.
And I have 3 antique booths, 2 at one mall and 1 at another mall.
So you're
And I'm a
keeping
YouTuber
busy.
now.
You're busy, girl.
And you're on the eBay too, right?
Yeah, I've been selling on eBay for about 4 years. I would consider it full time because it takes up all of my time. But yes, I sell on eBay. That was my main platform before I started my channel.
So to be nosy, Ariana, like how many, and Diana too, if you're comfortable answering the question, like do you know how many active listings you ladies currently have?
Miss Diana.
I have about 92.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I'm currently at, it changes because, but I think it's at like somewhere between 150, 175 currently.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
As long as
It's
you're
a lot of hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot of hustle.
That's why I say full time.
There,
Definitely full time.
no doubt. How long do you feel like every week that you take in going out and sourcing?
Well, it's funny. I was actually talking to Barb via Instagram the other day, and she was like, "Did you go shopping this weekend?" And I was like, "I don't think I ever stop shopping. I think it's like this perpetual triangle of shopping that I'm just constantly stuck in, and I can't get out because if I'm not outsourcing, because you can actually buy things on eBay, have them shipped directly to your door, relist them, and still make a profit. So I mean, I think I'm just
I've never
always
done that.
really
Uh-uh.
it's a bigger gamble because things are usually, you know, more on eBay because the sellers know what they're talking about. But if you watch auctions, sometimes if they mislabel something and they list it as something else, you know, you do kind of feel bad as one seller doing that to another seller, but it's part of the hustle, I guess. But yeah, you can definitely do that. But if I see a yard sale sign, I'm stopping. If I see an estate sale sign, I'm stopping. So it's pretty much
Drives my husband crazy.
24/7
Well,
if I can get away with it.
it's hard when you're making content because your content is of you shopping. So
Mhm.
you have to shop to
Yes,
have content.
definitely.
So, I mean, it is kind of a thing, but I mean, eventually you get into like, I only go shopping once. Well, I say once a week. Sometimes I will just run over real quick to my local little antique mall,
Mhm.
real quick, like, and then, you know, pretty much buy out the entire booth.
Fill your entire
as in-
cart.
yeah, as in this video, but today's video, but you'll get to where you'll go to multiple different places. I mean, Michael you just went a couple days ago. How many videos did you say you got in that one shopping trip?
5.
You get 5 videos.
Ooh.
So it's kind of good to get in that routine, like where you have like Fridays are my shopping days, but I only can go shopping if I get all of my shipping done from that week. So I have to put that guidance on myself, or I won't be able to go shopping. And that's what we all want to do. We all want to go shopping.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
Now,
shipping.
ladies, do you know the answer to Jane's question? I felt like at one time it was 10%, and it was 10% on top of shipping, wasn't it? Or has that changed?
So for a long time, sorry, Diane, did you want to
That's okay.
Okay, so for a long time, up until I don't know if it was at the beginning of this year, but for a long time you could use PayPal attached to your eBay. And
Mhm.
so you would have to pay a 10% fee for every item you sold through eBay, but then also you would have to pay a 3% charge towards PayPal for using their services to do the money through after the sale. But then I think at the beginning of this year, eBay kind of opened up their own shipping, not shipping, but money
Processing.
Payment.
exchange program. So it did cut down on the percentage a little bit. I couldn't tell you exactly how much it is, but I think currently it's at the 10%. I don't think you have to, like before you had to pay the 3% on the PayPal. I don't think that there's an additional fee added onto it now that eBay offers those services. And they actually don't even allow you to use PayPal anymore.
Right.
You have to use their services.
Yep.
And that's
And I
interesting.
like it.
Yeah, I
Wasn't
like it too.
PayPal-
At first I was a little like really eBay? Like really? But then once I started using it, it just took a second to get used to, but now I love it.
Yep.
Lauren, you know what? And here's the interesting thing. I don't know if, because I hear people talk about it. I never use Google Image. Never.
Really.
Nope. Nope.
I
You
just
know what
got
I
into
do?
it and I will
I
never
never
go back.
did it that way.
I'm a good old fashioned search. I'm be like blue ceramic duck, black eyes. Like,
Yeah, I mean, using a bunch of adjectives will help. But you know, you can also do an image search through eBay as well. So that sometimes will filter things down a little bit so you're not like looking at the whole Google. You know, you're just looking at, you know, eBay. And I've done that, but sometimes it doesn't give you exactly what you want, but it helps a little bit. And I still, if I know something is Fenton, I just don't know what the pattern is, I'll go to my Fenton books and I'll look at, because you're learning so much by just looking through the pages of those books. Sometimes things catch your eye and then you'll remember it when you see it again. So,
And you can't always trust what is listed on eBay or what eBay brings up because
right. But it'll give you a name. Sometimes it'll give you a name.
Yeah, and some people think they see somebody else has listed it for something and that's wrong. So, but they just assume that that's okay. I found it on eBay. This is what it is. Boom, boom, boom. Come to find out it's not. So there's several, you know, you just got to be careful with what you got to make sure what that item is.
Also, I want to say though too is if you have a question and we're not going to be able to get to every single question, but if you do have a question, please, you all in the chat, if you have an answer, like I saw, who did I see? Somebody put in, Faded Lane Vintage. eBay fees are about 12 to 15%. So if you have an answer that
Thank you.
we're kind of stumbling upon or that we're not getting to, you guys talk to each other in the chat. That's what this whole thing is about. We're just the four of us on the screen, but you guys are all involved in this chat as well. So talk to each other, and we are all learning from each other every single day. So
absolutely. And yes, Lynn, I am on Worth Point. It's very, very worth it.
I think
for
so
me.
too. And it is a tax write-off at the end of the year for that subscription, so you can write that off on your taxes.
I love what Harlots and Trinkets said. Pinterest has ruined Google searches. And that is 100% true, because if you ever use Google search to try to find what an item is or the value of it, never click on the Pinterest ones.
No, because it
all
doesn't
it
give
is
you any information.
nothing. It's just like, here's a picture of the thing that you want to know about, but we're not going to give you any information on it.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're seeing
What is the name
Google
of
Lens or Google Image Search.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Worth Point, Arianna, are you on Worth Point? I am not on Worth Point.
It took me a long time to get to the Worth point because I don't feel like their free trial really gives you what all it has to offer. Because with the free trial, like, I would go to search something and it's so limited that it got me really discouraged. I was like, well, why would I buy the subscription if it won't tell me anything? It won't, like, it's not worth because you do have to pay for it monthly. It's a monthly subscription. But then
You can pay
once
for it
I
for the
actually
year as
pay
well.
the monthly subscription, I realized that it's a lot deeper and a better tool than the free trial really lets you think that it is.
And it goes back years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you do have to be careful with that, because if you don't look at the years and you are selling on eBay and you list something at a buy it now, looking at a 2014 listing, you might kick yourself because it might have tripled in value. You never know. So I recommend, if you go on Worth Point, and again, I'm new, so I'm not trying to sound like an expert. This is just from my personal experience. If you go on Worth Point and you only see older listings, none sold within like the past 5 years, I recommend always listing it on auction format, just because you do not want to sell your item short and end up hurting, your bottom dollar.
Yeah. I say triplet in that case. That means it's rare.
Yeah.
And also, when you get people that will email you, if you have something up as an auction, you'll get people emailing you wanting to know if you will sell it now for a certain price. Nope, you're just going to let it ride.
Never do that, because the 2 times that's happened to me, one was this littlest LPS toy. It was like the smallest toy, and it was a whole lot. And I had like several people message me, and they were like, will you sell just this one? Just this one? And I'm like, what is it about this one LPS? So then I researched it, and that one little LPS was worth $250 for one little toy. So never accept. There's a reason why they want to buy it now.
Right. They know something that you don't.
Does Sarah Lee is asking, do any of you ladies sell on any platform outside of eBay or YouTube, like Poshmark, for instance? Do any of you sell clothing?
I do have a Poshmark account that I do have some shirts and some hard goods on. I have not listed on there for quite some time. And it's been a while since I've sold anything, but I do have a Poshmark account.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any Poshmark account. The only other thing I utilize is Facebook Marketplace, and that's only if I come across big furniture items for like a stellar deal, and I just know that that's a good piece. That's the only time I use something else. And I do sell some clothes on my eBay, but really that's only when I if I'm at the store and I'm looking for clothes myself and I stumble across something, I'm like, I know that brand. It's not my size, but I know that brand. Then I'll list it, but I don't specifically go sourcing for clothes because I find them a little difficult to photograph.
Not to mention all of the sizes for the clothing.
Yeah,
Like
and then
I
I've
just
had a
put
lot of
in like all of the measurements for it. I'd be like, the what to the what to the who?
yeah, and shoes are like that because you know, if you see a good size like men's shoe, like a nice men's shoe, and you list it as a size 10, and then a gentleman buys it and he's like, this isn't a men's 10, it's like, well, I couldn't have tried it on. You know, I just have to list it for what it says it is, and then they want to return it. So clothes and shoes can be tricky.
Mhm.
I when I first left my job and I started reselling full time, I sold on Poshmark, Mercari. I sold clothing. I wanted to justify quitting my job. I wanted to just sell as much as I could. Hated clothing, hated Poshmark. I didn't mind Mercari as much. I hated all of the vernacular with Poshmark. Posh Bosh, po, Posh Fest. It drove me posh nuts. I couldn't stand all the verbiage. I would like
Oh,
rather my ears out with ice picks than listen to that posh club, posh boss, posh babe. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but it just drove me nuts. I got so sick of hearing it. It's like every time you get a hey posh girl or hey, like every time you'd get an email, it would be like, I'm like, no, I'm not a posh girl. I don't like that.
You do have
I'm not a
to,
fashion person.
it
yeah,
was like the Smurfs. Everything on Poshmark starts with posh. Is that it? It's poshy.
Yes, I'm not a posh babe. I'm not
You're
a
having a
posh.
posh
I
day.
don't have a posh BFF. I don't.
Yes, you.
Well, but it just kind of drove me nuts.
So what you're saying is you don't want to go get I'm a posh girl matching tattoos?
No,
Okay.
posh spice.
there you go.
It did.
Oh, and actually, real quick, Ash R asked what a hard good was.
Oh,
Oh, it's
hey, look
literally a
at
hard good. Ceramics, glass, wood. It's like a decor item versus
posh
something
rant.
that
That was
you
my
would
posh.
wear. There you go. A hand. I mean,
I would say I would define it as anything you can use a Lysol wipe on and not damage it.
there you go. Hmm.
Yep.
Well, to an extent.
Yeah.
So say you see a soul on a convo, where I do this. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. This was a good one. Jane is asking, so say you see a sold on a comp or a value, do you list for a near price or sell it a bit cheaper?
I'm assuming that Jane, you're meaning eBay. If you see a sold component, you list your price. Well, it depends on how quickly you want to sell it.
Yep. It depends on how many are still out there. How many, I'm sure not everybody sells it at the same price. So you determine, I think this is what I do, between the highest and the lowest, because you want to beat the highest, price. But you want to get as much money as you want or that you can.
And
So
sometimes too, with those types of things, make sure you're looking at condition. Make sure that your item that you're listing is in as good of condition or is not as, you know what I'm trying to say. Check the condition. Also check to see if it's new with tags. If you're clicking like sell one like this, there's a lot of different factors you want to take in when you're comparing sold comps to the item that you have.
Yep.
I
If
think
they're
it's usually.
unlisted, I'm sorry. If
No,
they're
go ahead.
unlisted at all, but there are sold comps for it, then I do go up a little higher because there isn't anybody competing with you.
Right.
So you can list it for a higher price.
Yeah.
You're setting the
than what
market.
it's sold. Yeah.
And you have to look too if people are offering free shipping, or I mean that plays into. I never do anything free shipping. It's just not something that I want to do. I mean, I know some people are very successful at doing things free shipping, and it does take out a lot of the guesswork as far as your transaction. But then you have to make sure that you're putting that price into the item as well, because then you are going to be out that $7, $8 to $14, sometimes $20, depending on where it's going to, out of your shipping. So that's something that you have to look at too. And typically what I've typically done, if I see something and there's several things that are listed at $25, I sometimes will list mine at $24 or 24, just to give yourself a little bit of an edge over the highest bidder,
Yeah.
highest priced ones.
Well, I think you have to list the way that a lot of people buy, because that's something we were saying the other day, or I was saying it's like, I mean, who doesn't? When we go in and we're searching for something on eBay and we go to the filters and then we type in lowest plus shipping first. So even if you're $1 cheaper, your item is going to show up first every
Right.
single time. If everybody's at 25 and Misty listed at 24, Misty's is always going to show up first.
Right.
And it's just $1, but guess what?
It
I'm
shows
gonna
up.
go for the one that's the $1 cheaper. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same thing.
I've done
Conditions
5.
comparable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you do have to be a little careful though. I would say because sometimes items are marked, like people will mark their items down and down and down. And I've noticed that a lot of times they have really bad pictures. So if you're looking at comps and you see something listed for like that they've marked it down and then it's going down, and then you see other items, the same item listed a little higher. I've noticed a lot of times that the one buyer that's at the lower end has terrible pictures, like their feet are in it or the lighting's bad. So I wouldn't recommend just always going to the very, very bottom. But if they have good pictures and a good description and you see that that's kind of a consistent selling price for that, then yeah, definitely list it at least $1 or a little bit more below what they have it at.
I think Ellen's asking a really good question. And we've talked about this before, but she's saying, has anyone else noted sales have plummeted since increase in postage? I just started selling in January and was doing well. Now crickets. Should I lower my prices to help with shipping? I would say this, Ellen, and I only base this not necessarily on what we're doing, whether we're selling on YouTube or eBay or Etsy or Macari or Misty's favorite Poshmark. I base it more on my retail job. And a lot of times what will happen is we've had a back to school rush, right? And this sounds weird because you're like, well, people are buying stuff for back to school. But it's kind of very much like a group think or a hive mentality. What it is people are spending money. So they're in their mood and they're spending money. Yes, it's back to school that kind of sparked it, but they're out there selling stuff. So what I would say now is that it's not a question of, I think maybe what you're seeing is the slowdown that we typically see prior to the holiday season. And then come about mid-November, you're going to see it's just going to go crazy high. But then in January, it's going to go even lower than what it is right now. This is what I'm thinking maybe you might be seeing. I don't know, ladies. Do you?
Well, I think that one thing that I do often is I run a sale on eBay, and I will just, do like a 10% off sale on certain, it doesn't mean that you have to put your entire store on a 10% off sale, but maybe go through some of the things that, you can filter through and go through some of the things that you've had for a while, and just have a sale. Or just, maybe go through some of the things you could have a sale, or you just go through and look at your things that say, when you're looking on your eBay app, you can filter ending soonest, because you used to be able to do 30-day listing, and then that listing would go off, and then you could update and refresh. Now you kind of have to go in and just kind of see how long things have been listed, and then you can lower it a little bit. I wouldn't buy much. And then when you lower it, the people that are watching that item, say you have 25 watchers on that item, then they're going to get a notification that you've lowered your price. So even if you lower it by a couple of dollars, sometimes then that can make that person be like, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to buy this thing.
Yeah. And I usually, when I get those notifications, eBay will put send offer to buyer or to watchers. I typically will do that. And yes, there's a lot of watchers, but you can also see how many are interested actually. So I'll have 12 watchers on something, but actually only one person is interested in it.
What does that mean?
I
What
think
is
maybe sometimes I will watch something to
Get a comp.
because I have something like it.
Yes,
I would like to
exactly.
see how theirs
How it
ends
sells.
up selling.
Mhm.
So I
Or on
think
eBay, when you list something, you can piggyback from another seller's listing. So if they are listing, if they've listed this Diet Coke can and I have the same Diet Coke can, I can go to their listing, click sell one like this, and everything is already automatically filled out for you. This,
Yep.
the
Oh, yeah.
dimensions, you know, the year it was made, all of those things. Now, you of course want to go back and double check those, make sure that they're
Yeah.
accurate to the piece that you have. But
Yep.
so like if I go shopping and you know you buy 10 things and when you get home you look them all up, you can click watch. So then when you're ready to list, they're all right
Yeah.
Oh,
there. So that's where a
wow.
lot of your like watchers come
come
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
So
But
I
I
actually
do.
had one time I sent a watcher an item and they accepted it and it was like a pricey item. It was like $150. And they emailed me back and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to accept that. I thought I was accepting that offer on that same item that I was selling because they had piggybacked off my listing.
Yeah, I've had that happen too.
So what do you ladies think? Is it better for an auction or a buy it now? Do you
Buy
have
it
like
now.
criteria
Buy it
for Misty's full on buy it now?
I will do an auction if I don't particularly know or haven't found much like research on an item. I had a salt glaze, I think it was Monroe Studios or Monroe Ceramics, a mug that I had no idea how much it was. What are you guys doing?
We're saying
twitching.
we do that too.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so I started this one mug, just a coffee mug at, I think, 19.99 or 29.99. And right at the last minute when the auction was getting ready to stop, it had gone up to $75 for one mug. So that is a reason to do, if you don't have much information on the piece.
But start at what you're willing to sell it for.
Exactly. Yep. Don't start it any lower than what you're wanting to get.
Don't do a
Yeah, and
dollar bid.
I think that's a
don't start it.
misconception. Sorry, Misty.
No, go ahead.
I think that's a misconception with eBay because I talk to a lot of people that want to start selling on eBay, but they're like, but I don't want to sell it for less than I paid for it if no one's interested in my auction. And the truth of the matter is that on eBay, you can start your auction at whatever price you want. If I want to sell that Diet Coke can, starting bids at $100, eBay is not going to tell you can't. Now, it won't sell, but you are more than welcome to start your auction off at whatever price you want to. And I also really agree with what Diana said. That is 100% true. I've made a lot of mistakes where I listed something that I found something similar in a similar color or a similar style, and I did a buy it now off of sold comps, and I regretted it because that color was a little bit more rare and it, you know, was worth double the money. But something I do recommend highly is I have learned that there are usually two types of buyers. There are people who want what they want when they want it. And then there are more patient people. So a lot of times, and this isn't for doesn't go to say for everybody, but a lot of people that buy on eBay usually either look at only auctions or only buy it nows. There's very few people that are like, oh gosh, I really want this. I want it, you know, they're not going to look at both. There's people that are going to go to sort and filter and click buy it nows, which is what I do because I'm impulsive and I want it when I want it. And then there's people that will look at the auctions. Now, of course, I look at both sometimes. So what I recommend is if you have something listed at a buy it now for a very long time, like, you know, 3 months, it's sat at $45. You would be amazed if you when that auction ended, you took that auction off or that buy it now off and listed it back up at auction format for half your asking price on buy it now, as long as of course you're still in your money making section. You don't want to lose money, but if you paid $5 for an item and you started at 10, you already know you've doubled your money. But if it sat at $45, buy it now, and it didn't sell, and then you throw it up on auction, you will be amazed. Sometimes it can go for double what it was sat at buy it now for months. So I recommend that highly. It's worked really well for me in my business selling on eBay. Is if you have it listed as auction and it doesn't sell, throw it up as a buy it now, and vice versa, and just keep switching it up, because then you're hitting those two different audiences of eBay buyers.
Yep.
They get competitive.
My very first thing when I'm, when you're laying in bed at night and you're like, I'm going to search for lucite candles, because that's what I've been into lately on eBay. And I will immediately, the very first thing I filter through, and I do auction ending soonest.
Yes.
Because you get discouraged if you're looking for something specific, and then you go on eBay and you see it just started and you have 7 days.
Yeah, I want it to see it that's ending soonest, because I want to jump right in. Because sometimes you can jump right in there and there's like 3 minutes left, and you're like, hey, it's still in the ballpark.
And see, when I search on eBay, I go newly listed, buy it now, lowest price.
See, I go newly listed. See, I always do cheapest. And the reason I do cheapest is because it depends. And I want to see, like, if there is an auction, and like Misty said, if there's like little time left, then I will do an auction, no problem, if I feel like I can get it. If it was like, if it's a buy it now and there's an auction and it's like maybe the buy it now is like $5 more than what the auction is at, but it's got like 4 days, I'll just spend the extra $5.
And do you see how interesting that is? And we haven't heard Diana's, how she searches, but all three of us search on eBay a different, this StreamYard, all three of us, all three of us search differently on eBay. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Just switch up how you're selling your items, so that if one item or one listing's stagnant for a really long time, just switch it. So maybe Michael will buy it instead of Misty.
I want to say too, this is kind of not really going on. Well, I guess it could if you have vintage, but if you've got toys that are new sealed in package, get those suckers listed now. A lot of people are getting a little nervous about the whole supply and demand thing. So I've been selling a lot of new sealed toys, puzzles, games, those sorts of things. And those are the things that I like to source when I'm going to thrift stores or yard sales that I don't necessarily talk about, like on, I don't really.
Your vintage channel.
Yeah, on my vintage channel. Right. But there are things that I do really like to sell, general merchandise things on eBay.
Yeah, I just told my husband tonight, I said, this weekend we've got to go Christmas shopping, because my daughter's 4. And when I dropped her off at my mom's house so I could do this sale tonight, my mom had this toy magazine. She's like, circle what you want Santa to bring you. And she said, I want this. And you can buy it at Target for $55, but it is sold out online in all the local Target stores, and there's only one on Amazon right now for $175 because of the panic. Yeah. So I told my husband, I was like, we're going Christmas shopping for our daughter this weekend. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing because it's insane.
And it's hard.
And even toy resellers will tell you, they're like, we're scooping up all the toys right now, so go get them.
And it's hard when you have a little one, because that's the one thing that they're asking Santa from, and Santa, Santa
I know, and then like we couldn't get her one thing she wanted last year, and she's like, "But wasn't I good?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Santa
you don't tell. Well, you got to be a little better next year.
I'll tell her. Michael said you
weren't good enough though this year.
You just you didn't measure up. There's a secret. There's a secret you're holding on to.
Now, with that being said, if any of you find Gabby's the dollhouse, message me. I will buy it from you. But don't pay $175 for it, because I will not pay that.
Gabby's dollhouse?
I don't know. It's a show on Netflix. It's this little girl who lives like shrinks down and goes into a dollhouse and lives with a bunch of cartoon cats. And she
Well,
loves
that
it, but
sounds
that dollhouse
delightful.
is sold out.
Misty's writing it down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabby's dollhouse.
Hmm.
All right, I'll write it down.
Thank you. You'll make a very happy 4-year-old.
Oh, so here we go. Jane's got the questions tonight.
Yes,
Let's
she
do it.
Jane.
Let's hit it. Here we go. She's saying, what works best? Live auctions, eBay, a brick and mortar, or a booth?
Well,
to go
Ooh.
shopping in or to
To
list
sell.
to
I think
sell.
it all depends on what your circumstance is. I've had all of these things. Although I didn't do a booth. The brick and mortar, I had brick and mortar. I liked it, but I hated being tied down to it. That was the issue. I hated that. It was a lot of work because you have to constantly be changing your stuff around and moving stuff around, and you're constantly filling it, but yet you can't really go out and buy because you're stuck there unless you hire people to do it for you. But then that opens up a whole other realm of paperwork and legalities and blah. So I myself did not like the brick and mortar because I didn't like being tied down. I didn't like feeling the pressure of making it look a certain way, or I didn't like, it was a lot.
You have really good pop-ups though.
Yes, I
Oh
will have a
yeah,
pop-up.
she was so worried, guys. For those of you that didn't come to her pop-up, I was actually watching a replay of the Vintage Rescue Squad while I was getting ready for this one, and someone asked her, they were like, "How's your project going, Misty?" And she was like, "Don't want to talk about it. I'm discouraged. I'm stressed out. It's gonna be terrible." It was
Well,
fantastic.
it's because
It was.
I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, and I want things to be a certain way.
But
And if
that's
I
what
have it,
makes you so good at what you do, and that's why it
well,
was
but
such
you
a
don't have to
success.
live with me, though, Ariana. You don't have to live
Right?
with me.
Poor Mark.
My
Poor
husband would probably tell you something completely different, like, yes, no more. In fact, I think when we were taking down all of the holiday things, the last Christmas that we had the brick and mortar, and I just stopped. I just stopped in the middle of doing it, and I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, okay.
It's like, okay, let's go.
Fine by me.
Whatever you want, dear.
Yeah.
I actually
Fine by
got one
me.
of my favorite things I own from Misty's pop-up. It's this amazing letter from the 1800s. It's right
Oh, I
behind
love
me.
that you got
Oh.
that. I'm going to have
It's
another one.
amazing.
Jeffrey is having one on the 24th. So it's coming up, and I'm going to be there, and he works so hard. He's working so hard on he's like painting his building, and he's power washing he's getting so prepared. So I'm looking forward to
And
that.
didn't he say on the first day everything's going to be like 25% off, and then on the second day everything's going to be 50% off?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Talk about a sale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty great. So the pop-ups are great. They're a lot of fun. My favorite thing about the pop-up was that the other antique places in town told me that it was the busiest day that they have had one of them said since they've been open. So the fact that I was able to help generate business inflow, people going down to all the other antique stores and shopping, everyone shopping those small businesses, that was the best thing that for me that could have possibly happened. So I'm going to do another one in the spring. But it won't be I won't have as much to do because a lot of it's already done and set up. I just have to switch things a little bit, but yeah. I had seen someone had said something about that they got a bad review, and I'm thinking they're talking about they got a bad review on eBay, like a bad feedback is what I'm assuming.
Okay.
And they said should they contact eBay? If you feel that you have gotten a bad review and it's not justified, then you absolutely can call eBay and talk to them about it. I would say what I would do first would be depending on what it was. I mean, if you have communication with that seller or with that buyer and you've communicated things back and forth, eBay knows that. Like when you call eBay, they can pull up that entire conversation that you've had with that buyer. And, they'll make a determination and they can remove the feedback. If if it's like your only negative feedback, I really wouldn't worry much about it unless you're getting negative feedback, you know, three, 4 times a week, then you have to think, okay, what am I doing wrong here to get all this negative feedback? But you can call eBay. Every time I have had to call eBay over anything, because we've all had some gnarly customers in our day that have made ridiculous feedback.
Claims.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they've always been very, very good to work with. And they've always, I've never had it to where they've not seen things in my favor, but always, 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 always only keep your communication between your buyer and you through eBay.
Okay.
Don't give them an email. And I will say this though, too, if you're a viewer of mine and you send me a message on eBay and I have not gotten, and you've not gotten a response from me, I won't respond to it because eBay does not like that correspondence that has to do with anything outside of eBay. So I've had people send me messages through eBay asking me, can I buy the the blue vase that I saw in your video or whatever. And it's like, I'm not even going to respond because that makes eBay mad.
Yeah, they can flag like certain things in your
shut me
messages.
down.
So yep, like if they see you transferring any like personal like PayPal information or emails through eBay's messaging, they flag like they can see everything. Okay, they're like Santa Claus. They're always watching you. So you have to be extremely, extremely careful on eBay. And can I speak on that bad review thing really quickly?
Sure.
So I've been on eBay for about 4 years. I've only gotten a couple bad reviews. And something I can tell you is a lot of times the people that leave you bad reviews are scam artists. And the reason why is there was probably nothing wrong with the item you sent them. You probably did a fantastic job shipping it to them. They want it for free. So what they're going to do is they're going to leave you a bad review, and then they know that being a decent seller and a decent human being, your first thing you're going to do is contact them and say, what can I do to resolve this? Because we all want positive feedback. Nobody wants negative feedback on their eBay. So they know that if you're a decent person, you're going to send them that. And then they're going to say, well, just refund me my money and I'll take it down. So do be careful with those types of things. Now, there's so many deep dives you can do into eBay. I won't get into it all right now, but just be careful. And like I had a weird one the other day. When I ship something from my eBay, I always do it like a cute ribbon and I put in some extras. And I actually had somebody the other day write me a bad review and wanted a full refund because I sent them postcards that they did not order, and they did not appreciate that.
Wow.
And it was like, they were like, why were these in my box? And I was like,
How
I was just
dare
trying to
you?
be nice.
Be
And
nice.
they're like, don't be nice. Just do your job. And I was like,
my gosh.
well, duly noted.
Yeah, I have an example. I've had, unfortunately, a couple of things that have broke due to my fault. I usually am very, very good at packaging and making sure that, everything's cozy. But there have been a couple of instances. They did get a hold of me, and I immediately, when I got the email, or the thing through eBay, I responded and took full responsibility, said I was sorry, gave them refunds, whatever it was but I responded immediately. And if you do that, both of the two that I had gave me great reviews because I responded, I made it right, and returned their money plus shipping. I took the loss. It was my fault. And they still gave me good reviews. So
sometimes that's the best way to handle it anyway. It's going to be less, I won't say it's going to be less stressful because you aren't going to be out money. But even if it's something that gets broken in shipping and it isn't necessarily your fault, accidents do happen. Boxes do get tossed around.
Right.
And the item arrives broken, you should always ask for photos. Have the buyer have the buyer send you photos before you do anything.
Yep.
Photos of the item, photos of the box. That way you have that information that you can go and file a claim with USPS. I know that's kind of a joke now, but you still can file a claim with the USPS for a refund because of any damage that happened in shipping.
And now I know I said I wasn't going to deep dive into eBay's dark areas, but I do want to do a little bit of a dive, just like into the shallow end. If you're starting out on eBay, something you have to be careful of, and I've learned this the hard way. This is all I'm speaking. Everything I'm saying is speaking from experience. So if you're selling a glass item that's, fairly common or even rare, it doesn't really matter. But say I'm selling a red ruby diamond point fairy lamp, right? And I send it to them, and I know I packaged it really well, but they message me and say that it was broken in shipping or whatever, or chipped or whatever the problem was. And I say, okay, so we'll send me pictures, and they do. Sometimes, because eBay is not as amazing as this community. eBay is a worldwide market. Not everybody, as much as we'd like to think, are good people. I've had people who have an item and they broke it, buy my item, and then try to say that the item they had that was broken was the one that I shipped them, so that they would get my item for free, because of course you're going to refund them, and then they get a brand new item and they can throw away the one that they broke. So when it comes to more specific items, especially if there's a pattern on a plate that you're shipping or anything like that, do your due diligence if you can, and take close-ups of a particular piece. Try to find a little imperfection. I know it seems like a lot of work, but trust me, sometimes it pays off. Try to take a picture of a little imperfection or something that makes your piece unique. And then if they say it broke, you have that little insurance. You can say, well, will you take a picture of the item? And then you can compare notes. And sometimes they're tricky. So
yeah,
that's a tricky one.
People do get scammy, that is for sure. Mm-hmm. So, whoa, oh, my screen. Oh, okay, I'm good. Okay. So, have you ladies always found that when, so far as reselling, were you guys always attracted to vintage? Misty, you said that you were when you started, you were going to do whatever it took because you wanted to justify. I mean, Diana, Arianna, have you always been on the vintage, or do you, with your eBay sales, do you do general non-vintage merchandise also?
I go, I have all different kinds of things on my eBay store. I do have shoes. I do have a couple of pieces of clothing, but for the most part, I gradually got to mostly vintage. I do still get things that I think are cool, that might be a little newer. But I no longer am doing clothes. I may do shoes still, because I kind of do like to do shoes. But yeah, vintage. I got really intrigued once I started watching videos, because I watched YouTube videos of Misty and Jocelyn and Jeffrey and Danny for about a year before I even started selling on eBay. So I kind of saw from their videos what was trending, what people like to buy, and went with that. But I also personally like that kind of thing too. I mean, beautiful glass and pottery and kitschiness, all that. That's how I got into it, I guess.
What about you, Miss Arianna?
I love antiques and vintage so much. It's actually funny. When I was 10, my mom was like, how do you want to decorate your room, honey? Because we just moved to a new house. I was like, the Titanic. So like at 10 years old, my room was decorated in Titanic like wallpaper, and I had all the books. I didn't have Barbies, but I had the Titanic like action figures, so that was pretty cool.
They
Oh,
have action
And
figures?
then I had my first antique booth actually while I was still in high school. I've always just ate, slept, breathed antiques and vintage goods, but as you can see, I have a little bit of a shopping and collecting problem. So I do sell things on my eBay that don't necessarily strike a passion in me. So I do sell things that I know sell, even though I'm not like, they're not vintage or antique, but that's really just to support my habit. But my true love is vintage and antique goods. And that's actually why I started my YouTube channel, because I love selling on eBay. It's a really cool platform. I love what I do. I love taking these treasures and giving them new life. But, you know, at the end of the day, eBay is a business. So I was using it like such. It was whatever I felt like. I don't want to come off crude. Like, if I can make a profit on it, I'm going to sell it. But when you're selling on eBay, that's kind of your mindset. Like, you see everything as bad as it sounds, as dollar signs. Like when you're outsourcing, you're like, can I make something on that? Can I make something on that? And that wasn't my passion. My passion isn't making money like that. It helps support my habit, and that's great. But I started my YouTube channel to strictly talk about vintage and antique goods because that's what I'm passionate about. So I do sell things on my eBay that aren't antique or vintage, but my YouTube channel is strictly antique and vintage goods.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, now that you ladies you're coming from like the eBay reseller world and you've begun to now enter into the YouTube content creator world. How are you guys finding that transition? I mean, you're still selling on eBay, but is it something that are you thinking that you're going to transition away from, or you're looking at opportunity in the YouTube world? Like, how are you ladies feeling about that transition so far?
Well,
As
as of right now, I have a very small channel. And with that being said, I do want to take a moment and just thank these guys for having me. They didn't have to do that. I feel extremely privileged and grateful to be here. And they have been so supportive. This community is insane. The amount of support that you guys just give away when like I did nothing to deserve it. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. But I think as of right now, of course, I'm going to keep my eBay because my channel is so small. I have about, I think last time I checked, 390 subscribers. But I'm so grateful for the subscribers that I do have. But so my channel is so small, so obviously I'm not getting monetized. And with my channel also being so small, live sales aren't really an option. I mean, I guess it could be an option, but you definitely want to have your subscriber count a little bit higher before you start having live sales, just so you have a wider market to purchase your items. So as of right now, I'm going to keep my eBay until I can grow my channel, but it's already growing at such an amazing rate. And I'm so grateful for everybody that has subscribed and has supported me. But yeah, I hope that my channel one day will be something along these lines. But until then, I'm perfectly content selling on eBay and just doing the work and doing the footwork that it takes to to grow my channel and to make that my main platform.
Well,
thank you. Wait, me, her, all of us. Thank you to all of us.
Well, you both have a very fun personality, and I think that's like one of the first things I think that will capture people in. And you know, your shop with me's and people get to know you because they're shopping with you, and they get to see like the things that you like to look at, and then they like to look at. And I know that, you know, wherever we're watching Shop with Me's, we're always like, what? Wait, you didn't get that? What about that? What about that? You know, so it's really fun to be able to watch the Shop with Me's. I mean, it's just such a fun community, and you know, we always try to be supportive of one another, and there are so many great channels to go out and watch, and other resellers to support. And I think that that's an important part of just building a community in general, is to be able to you know, to share the love, I guess. That's kind of corny. It's a corny way to say it, but you know what I mean.
Corny.
Yeah.
It's kind of corny. But there is you know, I don't know that there's necessarily a rule book as far as, well, when should you have a live sale? I think that there are parts to having a live sale. I don't necessarily think that you need to have thousands of subscribers to have a live sale and have a successful one. I mean, you can have 20, 30 people at your live sale and still have a very successful sale.
Look at Daniel.
Yeah, right. You can still have a very successful sale and not have, hundreds of people at your sale each week.
So Misty, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you are planning on doing a live sale, how do you advertise for it? Because of course everybody knows when you do your live sales because you've already established a set time. But for one, how do you make sure not to step on another reseller's toes? Because unfortunately, I don't know everybody's show times by memory yet. And also, how do you advertise as far as like what time and date your live sale will be?
Well, it's good to have it the same time every week, to have a dedicated time slot. And there's not very many because, there are a lot of sales. And there are, but the thing of it is, you have to do what works best for you in your schedule. If you have a sale and there's somebody else having a sale at that exact same time, you try not to do that. But at the end of the day, you have a young child, you have a life, you have, your own schedule, and you're working for yourself. So you're working for yourself. You have to do what works best for your schedule. If it works best for your schedule to have a sale, on a Wednesday night at 10 o'clock at night, then that's the time that works best for you. And a lot of times, our subscribers will, I don't know how y'all do this. I have ADHD, so I just cannot do it, but they'll be like having 3 tablets and they'll be watching like multiple sales. But people will start to, if you're fun and make it fun for them, then they're going to want to come to your sales, and they're going to want to come to other people's sales, and then they'll make room for yours, or they'll be like, okay, this is every other week I'm going to go to this sale. You just have to do what works best for you and what works best for your business, and have fun doing it, and make sure that other people are having fun doing it too. And, I don't like doing the solo sales anymore. I have not done a sale by myself in a long time. I don't enjoy them. I like the camaraderie of having somebody on screen with me and having a sale. It's easy to keep track when you have somebody working, when if you're selling with somebody, then you can keep track of your sales, and, you can make sure that you are taking track, and you're the one that's in control of your sale. I think that that's important. And we're talking a little bit about boundaries. And if you're starting a YouTube channel and you're starting to have sales, it's very important to understand like moderators, and the importance of having moderators that you trust, and not making everybody a moderator. I think that is something that people don't really quite understand. At the end of the day, it is your channel and it's your sale. You are ultimately responsible for what goes on at your sale in the chat. That's on you. Things can get very nasty and be projected back upon you for things that are happening in the chat that you may not have even seen, because you're not, you're trying to do 2 things at once. So,
You know what, Misty? I think that's a really interesting point that you just made, because, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things that a lot of people struggle with is, and I did too, is that it's different when you're selling on eBay, because there is a disconnect. I don't know who I'm buying from, and they don't know, it's a transaction period. There's nothing to it. I want this product. Here's my money. Send it to me. That is it.
Yeah.
But then when you start talking about doing YouTube, because we are quite literally putting out content and people are watching us and getting to know our quirks and our personalities. And then when we do it live, they're quite literally seeing us handle and touch the item. So there is that social aspect to it. And yeah. but it's, the chat is, by extension, it is part of your business. Um, it's kind of like the eBay interface that's gone. If you decide that you do want to sell on YouTube Live, there is no interface. It's you and the audience. It's you and the buyer. There's no third party doing it. It's you and you. So it is a much more intimate, a much more social experience. And I think a lot of people forget that that includes the chat. It very much does include the chat. And Ariana was making a really interesting point about being able to not necessarily wanting to do a live sale for the sake of the money, but better understanding her audience.
Right, because like so when you post a YouTube video, the people that comment, and I'm one of them. I'm not a big commenter.
Right.
I kind of just sit back. Even in live sales for the longest time, I didn't really participate too terribly much. I just like to watch it and, hang out with you guys. So like 1% of my subscribers comment. So I was saying before we jumped on here, I was telling Michael and Misty and Diana that I want to do a live sale just so I can like interact with you guys and get to know what you like, and you can see what I like, and you can tell me if there's anything specific you're looking for, and just to get to know you guys a little better. Because if you have been watching my channel, you've learned a lot about me in a really short period of time, and I don't know anything about you guys. So
But I don't think that you have to have I don't think that there's any magic number of subscribers in order
right.
to take that leap. I think that you could do that. You could make that decision to do that at any time. And that, you may just, there may be 30 people there, but that's okay. I mean,
But
when I first started having my live sales, I don't even think that there was 20 people there. It just takes a while to get to build up that audience. And if you're engaging and if you bring consistently, you bring really good things to your sale that you're curating, and you will start to curate a little bit more as you get to know some of your regular viewers, your regular customers and buyers. They're going to come. But I'm going to tell you that you need to have an Instagram, right? That you need to be active on Instagram.
now,
That's why
can you do a live sale if you have under 1,000 subscribers? Can you go live?
You
Yeah.
have to use it through a third-party source
So
like
StreamYard, that's what you were saying earlier, Michael, is that you can
Yeah.
use StreamYard to go kind of like do a loophole.
Yep. And now you can do it. So to do a YouTube live sale, you will need to stream through YouTube itself. Once you get 1,000 subscribers, you can hit go live without anything else other than your YouTube channel, and boom, you're there. If you are under 1,000, then you would use a service like StreamYard that connects to your YouTube and will, which is the weirdest thing ever when you think about it.
Yeah,
but
they allow that, but they won't let you go
Yeah.
live under
Through their-
1,000.
It's weird. Idiot. Well, Daniel has a good point too. You can also go live and just do a chat. You don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna bring in my stuff. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to sell anything. You can just go in there and talk and
You
have a
sure
hang.
can. Mhm.
And people are
Well, I
gonna get
might
to know
do that.
you. Yeah, you
sounds like fun.
absolutely should. You
Mhm.
absolutely should. And it's just, and also, I mean, you can advertise your eBay. You could hold up things and say, you see this cup? I'm going to talk about these 10 things, and these 10 things. What you do is you already have your eBay listings scheduled, and you say, we're going to talk about these 10 things that are as soon as this video is over, all of these things are available in my eBay store. You can go and I mean, it's just another way that you can go live and you can talk about things that you're selling and not necessarily sell them right there in the live sale. Although, I mean, you're gonna have to pay eBay fees and all that other kind of stuff, but it's just another way that you can go live and talk about some cool things and direct
And do you
people to
guys see in the chat how great these people are? Like, that was just free, amazing advice she was giving me for just, they're just awesome. So thank you.
Well,
Yep.
the thing of it is, though, we've kind of had to learn all this stuff the hard way. and I love giving out this kind of information. I love talking about this stuff. I do. I really, really.
Well, it's so
enjoy it.
nice because, in this business, it can be tricky to know what to share and not what to share. Because, like, for instance, in my most recent video, I was like, I found this new honey hole. And like, I really want to tell people about it, but at the same time, it's like,
Don't do it yet.
I'm not.
Keep it.
Oh,
I
told
have
that
one that I'm
person,
keeping.
and
I'm
she
not
went and bought
saying
the
where
whole
it's at.
store. Stinker.
You know what? Can we? Okay, like you guys are bringing up like really good thoughts in my head, but I am desperate. Like I do want to. But thrifting in the colorful North Woods
Well, that's a
has a
beautiful
really.
name.
I know, right? Number one, that helps having a really unique, distinctive name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But saying I'm nervous that I will put so much work into YouTube, but have no followers. Right now, I'm making videos for fun, but one day it will probably tire me out. You know what? This is what I will say. If you're having fun with it and you are enjoying it,
All that matters.
it's not going to tire you out.
Yeah.
So keep at it. Don't, it's interesting because, I think it was the Vintage Rescue Squad when when Daniel and Dolores were with us. And it was Michelle Newton's cupboard had she had the perfect response. And it was that, success is different for everybody. So don't think that your success is defined by the number of subscribers. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's defined by, I don't know how many views you get or how many likes you get or, you know what? And for some people, it's just about the sheer and utter enjoyment of doing it. I love filming the videos. I love editing the videos.
Yeah, I do too.
That, it's just a lot of fun.
One thing though that is really important, and I know like on Instagram we've talked about hashtags. Hashtags are just as important in YouTube content creators or for YouTube content creators. If you aren't using hashtags in the description of your videos, it's like your stuff isn't going to get seen.
Now,
I mean, that sounds a lot worse than what it.
There you go, Daniel.
Are you talking about in the actual description or in the like tags portion of the YouTube?
In the tags portion.
I can't get that to work.
I do
YouTube or Instagram.
YouTube.
Okay.
I do both. I use the maximum amount. I think it's 500 tags. You can already have them auto generated, but I don't like. I have some of them. I've taken a lot of them off. That's something that I myself have been working a lot to improve upon, is changing up my tags so where they're not auto generated, because your videos generally are somewhat the same, but if I'm not going to eBay, if I'm not shopping at Goodwill, I'm not going to put that in as a tag.
Now, do you do that before your video uploads or after?
Yes.
Because I can't get it to do it for me.
During
while it's
uploading, you go in and add the tags.
Yeah,
and then you have to put
all the way
hashtag
down. You scroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag word comma. Hashtag word comma.
Yeah. I will say though too, YouTube does have creator studio videos that you can watch that are very, very helpful. They're free. So it's just if you go into your YouTube, your homepage, there'll be like creator studio thing. And so you can watch some of those videos. You can honestly just type in your YouTube search.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to learn how to
SEO
auto-generate
YouTube.
those and copy and paste them.
There's Justin Brown from Primal Video. I watch him. He's very, very informative on YouTube and how to make thumbnails and just everything about. You could look him up too.
You using hashtags are going to get you seen. It's going to, and also, I mean, if you are maybe someone that doesn't always comment a lot in videos, just try commenting something, even if it's just hi. Or that's why sometimes I say, just put in random numbers. I know that drove some people nuts, but it does. The more engagement you have on your videos, whether that be with thumbs ups, thumbs downs, who cares? It's engagement. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt you in any way. It actually helps you when someone gives you a thumbs down.
I was so excited on my first thumbs down. I mean, that's cool.
When I schedule videos, I get thumbs downs before the video has even been seen. So
Misty, Ash R says we can stand a C or a SEO queen.
Yeah.
Ahunawana.
Well, yeah, what?
I think she meant CEO queen. I think she's talking about Misty.
Oh,
SEO.
we stand a CEO queen.
Yeah, like Misty's doing something.
We're here for Misty as a CEO, is what she said.
Yes.
Oh God! You now listen. You don't want me being in charge of anything that has to do anything with numbers or accounting. And I saw somebody else had asked a question about an accountant. Yes, if you have an online business and you're doing this full time, especially, it is highly imperative that you have a CPA that looks over your books and lets you know that you're doing everything the right way, because you're actually going to do yourself a disservice, because you're probably not you're not utilizing all of the deductions and all of the write-offs and stuff that you possibly can. And I use GoDaddy software, which I'm getting right after this year. I'm going to switch to QuickBooks, but you can get everything, all of my business cards, all of my debit card that I use for all my shopping. It's all integrated in there. My eBay, my PayPal, everything is in there. So all I have to do at the end of the year is, well, I go through and double check and make sure all of my deductions are in there, but you can just print that off and take it to your CPA. And it's good to do a little bit of research to make sure that you might be getting a CPA that has some knowledge on e-commerce business. And so anyway, but yes, you got to write all this stuff off on your taxes, and every little thing that you spend, every box of pens, every pad of paper, every tissue paper, every bubble wrap, every box, everything you buy, use that.
Gasoline
Do
to
you
drive.
put them into a spreadsheet, or do you just keep...
No, I don't do spreadsheet. I don't like.
Okay, me neither.
like them.
My husband makes fun of me because I keep track of all my eBay sales in an antique ledger book.
Yes.
Like from the 1900s. Mine's like literally it says ledger, and
no,
I handwrite each and every sale.
No.
He's like, let me make
that's
you a
one thing
spreadsheet.
that's one thing that you don't have to do. All my CPA wants me to keep track of is how much money I'm spending and how much money I'm bringing in. I don't itemize anything. The only thing that gets itemized are the things that I'm spending on my receipts. That's through my accounting software.
You're gonna be, and I think that the important distinction between that is because I think that you inherently think, well, no, I need to know my per cost average to everything.
Right.
But what Misty is saying is that the only time that you would, knock on wood, need to be itemized on everything is if you were to be audited by the IRS. And that is also something that is important when you do have a CPA, is because you want to make sure that you're doing everything on the up and up, but the CPA is going to be able to look at total calculation. Like I literally have an envelope and I put it in my glove compartment box, and it right now it says October 2021, and I will go in, and at the end of the month is all I have to do is add those receipts. That's my total spend, less any other expenditures that I might not, like somebody asked, are you writing off gas or mileage?
Yes.
Misty?
Yes.
But
I have an electric car, so I don't write. I don't do gas anymore.
Johnny
I'm
drove.
going mileage because it's more than the gas.
Right.
Keeping in mind, and that's going to vary state by state, I believe. In the state of Pennsylvania, it's now like 50, no, it's not 50 cents. I think it's like 36 cents a mile, which is a heck of a lot more than if I were to, that's something that in addition to the envelope that I will have to, just do mileage.
Mileage.
You can't claim both. You can't claim mileage and gas. The mileage
So
is
what
paying.
do you do if you haven't been doing that all year and it's now October? Theoretically speaking, of course. Not me.
Have you been using
I'm
a
on top
debit
of it.
card? Have you been using cash?
For my gas?
No, for like what you've
Now
spent.
that I have
okay.
a hold of, but as far as like my gas and
Well,
everything, I don't have any receipts.
You know that you have gone. Well, you can just do your you can't do both, so you're gonna have to do your mileage. So
unless I'm taking my daughter to school, everywhere else is thrifting, antiquing, yard selling. I don't go anywhere else.
I thought you were asking for a friend.
Oh, I mean, she or he. I don't.
They,
Diana.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just gonna have to. This sounds pretty bad. You're just gonna have to do the best you can this year. Starting next year,
Yeah.
get or her she
Yeah.
she LaDonna, quarterly taxes are very important because if you don't pay them quarterly, like I did in last year, then you will get stuck with quite a large amount of money that you have to pay, and you about die. You about die because I mean, think about it. If you don't pay quarterly taxes, everything that you are, all of your income, you got to pay all at once at tax time. And I
You
about
must
passed
have done that
out.
before.
Misty,
Yeah.
you're making me sweat.
Well,
No,
I mean,
but those are important things to know, though.
No,
Those
they are
are,
so important. I'm just nervous that I hadn't been doing all that
did
correctly.
you see Derek's comment in here?
No.
where.
Get it together, girl.
Get it together, girl.
Oh, Derek will
Like
be
that.
my husband. So,
Oh.
and in his
Oh,
defense, he is the one that's been really pressuring me to do a spreadsheet. And I'm like,
Oh,
I like pen
listen,
and paper. Quit trying to make me be techie.
I
you
am
can
the
do it with pen and
worst.
paper. You just got to use the pen and paper.
I am the worst at keeping. I mean, listen, I have all my receipts and I have my accounting software, but I have a literal box full, this big, full of receipts. Have I sat down and made sure any of those are in my? No, I haven't. So guess what? I'll be doing the entire month of December. Every night, and I do it every year. And every year I say, I'm going to be better at putting in my, making
Yeah.
sure. And it never happens. It never happens. So, having a CPA, and even I'm horrible about this, but I think as your business grows, having quarterly meetings with your CPA just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And depending on what your tax filings
Status is.
like I'm an L. That's a whole different kind of. That's
Michael's got your
That's a
back,
whole-
Misty.
what did you
for a
do?
second.
You froze and he finished your entire
Oh.
sentence for you.
What did he say? I'm an LLC.
No, because you froze on whatever year, and I said your tax status is, and you came back.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a whole different thing like with you're an LLC that does protect you from if you're sued. It does. People can't sue you for your personal assets. You can do write-offs like your vehicles can be, a write-off.
50%.
Yep. So
50% of your phone if you buy a new phone.
And isn't it true that if you have office space in your house?
Yep.
That is correct.
yep, your internet, your everything they like, if you have a good CPA, they will know every write-off that you can possibly get. Now, I mean, you do pay to have a CPA. I mean, you do have to pay them, and it isn't necessarily cheap, but it's going to save you money in the long run.
Or yes, part of your mortgage. If part of your mortgage, yes, Susan, if you do have an office space within your own home. Yes. And two, just really quickly before I forget, but I took it off. Ladies, what software do you use for your video content to edit and whatnot?
Diana?
I use Filmora.
Me too.
That's why I use it.
What is it?
Is it Filmora Go or
Filmora. You do have to pay for it, because if you don't, Linda's in the chat. If you don't, Linda knows, you will have a what's that called? Watermark.
Watermark.
Michael, what do you use?
Really?
I use a 100% free video editing app. I actually have I downloaded another one that is still supposed to be free, and I'm kind of exploring it right now, so I'm not going to recommend that one because I don't know. But everything I do, it's called Video Editor, literally. It is not available if you have an iPhone. It's not available to you, so don't bother. But 100% free. Music, filters, everything.
Jeffrey was telling me about one at your pop-up Shot
Pro or Shotcut.
He says it's very simple. My husband's
See, and
crying.
I won't change mine because I am used to what I have, and my brain will not allow me to learn new things.
That's right, Ash.
You still are.
Oh, and
who
I
was
use
this?
iMovie because
iMovie.
it was on my phone and
Oh yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
know anything that I was doing. I'm not tech savvy at all. And I was like, what is this an editing app? And I clicked on it and sure enough it was.
I sure
And
will.
that's what I learned on. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, y'all gotta get. You got.
Johnny.
Do they have? Does Filmora have an app for your phones?
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
that's what I use is my phone.
Okay.
To edit.
Are you
And
able to go? So you can go right from your phone into your video editing software.
into my what?
Your
Software?
video editing software on your phone.
Yep.
See,
I
that's
can't
what's
use
up.
my phone because it's too little. I have to. I got old eyes.
I
So
will
it's too
say,
big.
if any of you are starting out and you do use iMovie, and this was in like my second video, you cannot delete your clips, your video clips that are in your photo. If you use your phone to film, you cannot delete your video clips that are in your photo album, even if your video is completely done edited and saved to iMovie. It is just a copy. It's not even a copy. It's running off of your videos that are in your photo album. So if you delete those to make room on your phone to film more, before you upload that video, you're gonna lose your whole video. So don't do that because it was not fun. It was not fun.
I
True
know
that.
you will hurt your feelings. Ash.
So Beth has an interesting question about what if you spend more on thrifting than you make in the beginning? And I'm going to assume that's about the taxes, but Faded Love Vintage is correct. If, and Misty, correct me if I'm wrong. Should that be the case, you're in the red. It happens, right? Oh, there we go. If your cash flow is negative, then make sure that you do have the proof of your taxes. You will, chances are, pay little to absolutely nothing because you've made nothing. So,
And you could only. I think that you can only be in the red for. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought you could only be in the red for like a couple years. I'm probably not even saying that correctly, but
Okay.
I'm just thinking that's what I have been told. That I guess it's a flag. It's a flag. It's a big red flag.
because they're looking at fraud.
If you are in the red every year,
You
Yeah.
may
yes, you can
audited.
still write things off.
And a lot of times that would be one thing that people they're not thinking about is when we talk about writing things off. And I'm a really, really, this is one thing that I really want to impress upon everybody is please make sure that you are writing off the cost of your goods, that you know the total amount that you are spending on your goods. You have to know how much you are spending on your goods. If you don't know how much you're spending on your goods, chances are you're going to be in the red.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. If I can tell you I bought 19 items today. It was $120. Okay. So I can sell and I can cost average, right? You've heard Jocelyn say that, and I'm a big proponent of cost averaging. So I have 120 items. I spent $120. There he is again. And I bought 10 items. My cost average per unit is $12. So I have one item, $12. I sell it for $50, right? That's all well and great. I made money, but guess what? I'm still in the hole because I spent $120. So please make sure that you're keeping track of how much you're spending versus how much you're bringing in.
And
That's
important too. And it can be very, very tricky if like in my instance, I already had this established business that I have tons of stuff in, and we have a lot of stuff because my dad's been collecting this stuff. He's been reselling for over 40 years. So I've got 40 years worth of stuff. Your accountant is going to also want you to do some sort of an inventory at the end of the year. So this is how much I have spent. This is how much I have left from what I have bought. that's a very tricky thing to do when you have 40 years worth of stuff. Like what if you already own the items that you're selling, right? So that's where I want to say you kind of have to put a guesstimate in, and this is because I don't itemize everything. I don't. I have a budget that I personally keep myself in each weekend when I do go shopping. I'm not going to say what that is because it does change. It can change from season to season, what your budget is. Right now I'm buying a little bit higher priced things because I've been able to buy higher priced things to be able to resell them. So it does change, but I have to keep myself within that budget. Otherwise I would just, I would go off the deep end.
How do you do that?
What?
Budget.
Well, in my mind, I have a
whole other thing.
dollars that I don't want to go over each shopping trip. So, I mean, that's not to say that I don't always go over it. But
see, I have such a hard time with that because, for one, my passion comes forward, and it's like, you need that. When are you going to see another one? Next time you come, it's going to be gone. And it's a problem. And especially with antiques, right? Because say I collected, I don't know, something you could buy new at Walmart, right? I collected Yankee candles, right? So I can budget. Yeah. I can buy a $20 candle this week, and then next week I'll buy another $20 candle. Well, if I go to a antique show in Atlanta and I find this, which I did, and it's over budget, but when will I see another one? I have to buy it. So that's a problem.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. It like I said, it doesn't always happen. Like when we went to Ohio, I spent way more than what I would have normally spent in a normal week, because it was something.
That was a special circumstance. Yeah, you have to, right?
Yeah.
And are you buying to keep it or are you buying to sell it?
Both.
Who, me?
I usually. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Did you buy that? Did you buy that to keep or to sell?
I'm a collector. Do you see this situation?
I keep things for a little while, and then all of my collections evolve or revolve and evolve.
Revolve.
No, I do sell things from my personal collection quite often, but then I get emotionally attached to items, which is my problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
You're like, yes, it is a problem.
I'm like that with certain things too, but
this is what I would suggest to you then, Arianna, is because I did struggle with this because I very much came at this more from the collector standpoint than the reseller standpoint. And what I would encourage you to do is try this out, is start pulling things from your collection that truthfully, and be honest with yourself, you're going to have to make difficult decisions, but start pulling stuff maybe out of your collection that's like at the back of the collection that you don't actually really see because you're not appreciating it. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not even seeing it. So if you are taking something from the back that you're not even seeing, sell it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like sell that thing. And then you're not even going to remember that it's gone because you don't even see it, and start working your way forward. I'm telling you, it will work. It works. And you're going to be like, I forgot I even had that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then it'll be right out the brain. And you just have to retrain yourself if it's what you want to do. If reselling is going to be the focus.
Think about it this way. You sell these things, you keep them for a little bit, and then you sell them, and then you get to use that money, and then you get to go buy more things.
There you go.
I do like that. I like that a lot.
And then you can have a bigger budget.
Right. I mean, there are certain things that I wouldn't sell. But honestly, if someone came into my house and they like looked at my shelf and said, "Okay, how much you want for this or that?" I'm probably going to sell them things off my shelf. I mean, seriously, I
probably would too. To be completely honest, it's just going over that hump, like of literally physically taking it out of your collection and letting it go.
You're just making space for something else to enter into that collection.
All right, that is a very good way.
And the thing of it is, if you are reselling, and this is what your job is, this is what you do, you're going to find things every single week. Every single week, you're going to find new things, and you can't live in a hoarder home. So you have to let some things go. And
like, you want to bet?
It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
We're gonna have my first live sale is gonna be Arianna's hoard sale, and it's just gonna be things from the back of my collection.
I was gonna say.
I thought you said, you didn't say Arianna's horror sale. You said Ford.
I mean, that might get more views.
You know what? That's a little clickbaity. That might work.
I don't. I'm blushing, but no, I did say hoarder.
From the back.
Yeah, that's and again, it's really important, and it kind of goes to what Beth was saying there too, or questioning about, is that why don't you start, Misty? That's how you started, isn't it? By going around the home and pulling things for sale, and that's how Misty started. Why not?
And the thing of it is, though, too, I mean, I think that there is a little bit of, I want to say it's a little romantic to buy something from someone that's came out of their own personal collection that they've loved and they've, appreciated, and they can set it down. Now there are I'm looking at some Halloween pieces right now that I'm like, I will not sell that. Like, there are some Halloween pieces that I'm pretty attached to holiday items.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm attached to, but
I'm attached to every item.
Well, you know what, though? You think about it this way. You can be attached to that item, but then you're just giving that item, it's going to go live in somebody else's house that they will appreciate.
Well, one of the problems with me specifically is that my aesthetic and the things that I like to collect are things that are broken, chipped, stained, chippy cracky, and like I'm only sell on eBay. So selling something like that on eBay is not the easiest because people are condition on eBay. Now Etsy is a little different, and then live sales is a little different because then I can talk a little bit more about why it has the issues that it has and why I appreciate it the way I do. But you can't really convey that through eBay.
No. Well, now you can't. Someone said, I haven't looked at this up, but you can do videos now through eBay.
Yeah, you can on Etsy too.
Like, so you can I don't think it's like, here is my item. I think it's just like, a video of the item.
Interesting.
They said letting people do videos. They're going to see people's going to do their feet and like those things we were talking about earlier.
Maybe I can get them to come on my horse sale.
Mm-hmm.
Come over here. Let me use your feet for my thumbnail.
You can have your horse sale over on eBay.
Oh my God. She ain't selling those kind of cookies, folks.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Texas Cow Treasures. I need to go in and watch some of her videos because I know that she had talked about Texas Cow Treasures as another YouTube channel, and she's been doing the videos on eBay. I need to look into it. But then that's just one more thing. You got to do one more thing on eBay. You got to fill out those 15,000 item specifics, but then you also got to do your video for eBay.
Hey, Misty, can I say so? Oh, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm just highlighting.
Can I say something off of what you said, where you said start by pulling things out of your own collection to do a live sale? For those of you that are scared of eBay, I can understand how it can be really scary to buy something at a price, like use your actual money to buy something to then sell it. And then, because what if it doesn't sell, right? That can be heavy. That's a big concept to take in. So what I always recommend if people ask me, how do you get started on eBay? I always say, walk around your house. Now, don't necessarily, if you love something, you don't have to sell it. But if you look up this water bottle that you already own and it's going for $30, then when you go out sourcing, hey, that water bottle goes for $30. So you can use things in your own house, in your own collection to kind of get your feet wet,
Yeah.
and
Look
start
in
your
those
research process, and
Yep.
you'll be amazed at some of the prices that things in your home go for that you would have never have thought would sell for what they do on eBay.
Look in
Right.
those boxes in your basement or in your garage. Those
Yeah,
things
just,
you don't see anymore. You have no idea that what's in those boxes. Take a look.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that though too is a semi-sore subject, but I think that might be why a lot of thrift videos do better than our antique and vendor malls. Hear me out. Is because there is the idea or the concept of the what is it like the rags to riches, where I bought this for $1 and I sold it for 100. It's so great and it's amazing, and everybody loves that idea and concept because it makes it seem attainable. But that's the point. It is attainable. You don't have to go out and start. You don't have to have this discretionary budget of $1,000 to be a reseller. You can go out with 50 bucks and less and hit up the thrift stores. Can it be a little bit more difficult? Can it be more effort? Yes.
I need to start doing something, but I don't have the thought process nor the memory skill.
The remember.
But I'm telling you what, you can go to an antique mall and you can find things to resell. You can find better things to resell. And you could take $40 into an antique mall, and I guarantee you're going to triple your money on certain things.
And if you want, start with one item. Like
Yes.
even, $50, yes, but even like 10 items or $10. Buy
Michael,
a $10 item
What?
and tell yourself you're going to not buy another thing to resell until that one item sells. And then take the money that you made from that.
who are we fooling, Arianna? We're not going to do that. We are not going to say, I'm not going to buy one.
I would not do that. I have a problem. I did not set this up.
Those are
video.
for reasonable people. This is advice
This
is for
is my
reasonable
actual dining room. I did not do this for video. I have a problem.
So Sarah, I'm glad that you highlighted her comment. Sarah,
I knew exactly what you wanted me to highlight, honey. Don't.
We're going to get Posh Girl and I Love Goodwill tattoos.
No. Now listen, I will go into a Goodwill. Don't get me wrong. I do go into Goodwill because I have hope that maybe today is the day I'll find something. But I do not, and I will not film at Goodwill anymore.
It's just too
will not do it.
oversaturated because so many people are saying, I found this at Goodwill, I found this at Goodwill. And then everybody's going to Goodwill thinking that they're going to.
Filming in Goodwill does not make me happy. It angers me. I mean, and Michael knows, I will go into a Goodwill and I'm like, oh God, I hate it in there so bad. I'm not
so crowded.
It's just so, well, first of all, in my area, the Goodwill the shelves are empty. There is nothing on the shelves. And what is on the shelves are broken, it could have been good if it wasn't broken. Oh my God. You know what, Karen?
That's
No, that's my email address. That's one of
It
my
is. That's right.
But I'm too lazy, Karen, to change it.
That's good, Karen.
Oh no. I think we created a problem. Everybody's going to start calling her Poshy Face.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
That was quite an angle. My apologies.
thank you, Mary, for.
I'm going to write that down.
What? You don't you dare.
I got that. Okay.
Now, little mom and pop thrift stores, absolutely. I love going in there. Love, 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 love. But there's not very many of them, honestly. I mean, there's not. It's always been my dream to like get in an RV and go to every little mom and pop hole in the wall thrift store around the country. And
you'd have to have a trailer behind your RV
I know.
to put all your stuff in.
Now, Misty, I know you said that this isn't a thing in your area, but I will tell you, I would say 80% of my sourcing at estate sales. And the reason, I know you don't have estate sales in your area, but I adore estate sales. Reason being, and I'm sure we can say this for all of us, we keep our favorite things. Like
Yeah. Oh,
Vintage
yeah.
Halloween, you know, our favorite hard to find holy grails we keep, right? And most of those we will not sell until and you know,
Yeah.
things come up for sale. So with estate sales, you know, these are people's most prized possessions that they held on to. They didn't sell, they didn't
Yeah.
put it in a garage sale, they didn't even hand it down necessarily. They just had it and loved it and cherished it. So these are things that haven't seen the market in like 60, 70 years. So I always find my best like holy grail items at estate sales. Always.
We have estate sales here, but they're auctions.
Right.
So
And that's tricky
it's
because you can't really get those good deals because
well,
everybody sees them.
you can, but you're there all day. I mean, I'm going to an auction. I'm hoping I'm going to one this Sunday, but I'll be there all day. It'll be a whole day
Can I
event.
come? That sounds so much
Sure.
like so much fun.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
also, guys, don't think that estate sales are always so morbid. It's not always
Someone that
the
died.
case that someone passed away. A lot of the times, yes, that is the case. But a lot of times it's just people are downsizing or moving and they can't bring everything with them.
But
or
you know what?
they're moving into a nursing home. There's lots of different situations.
I look at it as even if somebody had passed away, you're still finding these things that you are going to pass on to somebody else that is going to give it a new life in another home.
Right. And honestly, if you don't purchase it from the estate sale, someone else is going to, or they're going to donate it all to a thrift store and then someone's going to buy it regardless. So try, I know it's difficult, but try sometimes to just get yourself out of that headspace and just think of it as you are honoring them, because these are the things that they loved more than anything. They kept it. You know, there's a reason why they kept it. There's a story there. And those things to me have more value than
absolutely
anything else.
Yeah. It looks to me like most people love the estate sales.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're my bread and butter. I actually just bought an entire estate sale. I emailed the estate company when they posted the pictures of the sale. They were like, coming this weekend. I was like, can I buy it all? And they're like, yes.
Oh.
And I was like, great. Thank you. Boom.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I like to be able to, when I go to an estate auction, I talk to the auctioneer and I try to find out a little bit of information about what, like they'll tell me what they can tell me. But I like to know the story behind the stuff. So I really liked I like to find things that I can find a little bit of glimpse on who these people were.
You know what?
Tim King said Arianna really is a hoarder. I'm really not. Okay, I do sell stuff. I do. I do. My house is very clean. Okay, don't worry.
Very it's organized, but there's just lots of stuff there.
Organized.
Yeah. My friends in the comments, defend me. Tell them that my house is fine.
How is she?
Someone had said the last day of an estate sale is a great thing too. Also, the last day of a flea market or festival is the best day to go. Not the first day, the last day. I don't get
it. So I want to say this because it's interesting. Because earlier you ladies had started to talk about it and I went on to something else. And then I highlighted a comment to try to remember what I wanted to come back to, and then I couldn't remember it. But thankfully, Mary did bring it back up. Now that you all, Arianna and Diana, now that you are doing YouTube videos, and Misty, I would love your feedback on this. Mary says that she does not share her honey bowl. And I know that you ladies had started to have that conversation. So do we or do we not share our I'll go first. I'll put myself out there first. How about that? To be fair. So when I started, the idea or concept behind everything, I was like, well, of course I want to share everything. Of course I want to share everything. And the truth is that I wish there's one place that I wish I had kept for me. But I was in such the mentality of, well, if I share it, then it's going to help keep them in business. And that's the truth.
Is
But
it that
it has
place where they had all that Christmas stuff in the back? You had to kind of crawl over everywhere.
that's not even the place. No,
Okay.
that's not even the place. It just has made it like harder to get stuff now, which is great for the business, but it's just like, ugh.
I think Misty. Dang the StreamYard.
I know it's the opposite, but my brain still doesn't compute that.
I think Misty, when she was talking about the live sales, and she said, you can do your best to like coordinate with everybody, but at the end of the day, it's your business. You got to do what's right for you. I think it kind of goes along with that. Like, there are places I would like to share, but like you have to try to, and it's very difficult to take your want to do good and you want to share, but you do have to remember that at some point it is a business, right? So
Yeah.
if you give that away, that's taking away from your business. So it can be a very fine line. And like I found my new honey hole and I'm obsessed with it, and I shared it with one person. And if you're on here, you know who you are. And she went and bought like all the things I would have bought and then told me about it, and I had instant regret.
Yeah.
So be careful.
I have a honey hole that I'm going to go to this weekend, and I am not going to share this place until I buy everything.
I mean, but like you're only gonna share it with like us, right? Like me, Michael, Diana.
Well, yeah. You're
No,
not
I'm
just
just
going to do
kidding.
it.
I'm not driving it. She's like,
If
I'm
I know that you're
cursed.
coming to town, I'm not going to share it with you. But
Mhm.
but you know, and that makes you feel a little bad sometimes, because I always like to be able to promote another
Yeah.
business, and I want people to go in, and I want people to go in and shop at those places. But I think it's okay to be a little selfish.
I mean, just a
I
little
agree.
bit.
We're giving. I think it's okay
Yep.
to be a little selfish.
I mean, you have to, because
I agree.
you really have to think of it. And it's very difficult, but you do have to think of it like a business.
Well,
You know,
I think
'cause that's what it
YouTube-
is.
I think that's our YouTube channels in general. I mean, my YouTube channel is my livelihood.
Mhm.
I mean, I make my livelihood are my live sales. That's where I make money. That's how I pay my bills. That's my bread and butter. That's how I earn a living. It is my job. It's my job to go and film at places. It's my job to go and to do shows like this. This is part of my job, and it's a very non-traditional job, but it's still a job. I mean, I work very hard at what I do, and we all do. And we put in a lot of time and energy and sacrifice, and you have to protect that as much as you can. And that's why we were talking about having those boundaries within your own business. And during your sales, you have to take control of the
Ownership.
sales. It is your channel. You are in control, not the people that are in the chat, not it's your channel. Your name is on that channel. That is your business. So you have to take control of that.
Good advice.
But no, you guys, it is not the hoarded house. The hoard. It's
It's not the whorehouse.
not that
Misty,
one.
look what you have done.
It's
I
not that one.
I can't not unhear it now.
Okay, well, for all of you saying that, start calling her, what is it? Poshy Pate?
Poshy Pate.
Poshy Pate, Poshy Pate. Poshy.
No. Posh boss. I'm a posh boss.
Oh, there you are.
Oh my
Did y'all
goodness.
see what Barb's comment said? I was dying. She said, I stopped telling Jeffrey about good yard sales.
When she sees a listing for a yard sale.
Love that.
Trade
Barb.
secret.
Hold your ground.
And he'll be like, Barb, why didn't you tell me about that? And you're like, yeah. You know, you snooze, you lose, Jeff. You snooze, you lose.
Jeff.
If I go to his pop-up, it's going to be without Johnny because he's going to be gone. I know.
Jonathan, you're not going?
I think he's in the back room now.
Hey, can I ask a question? It might be controversial.
Okay. Ooh, I love
but
a
I'm wondering
controversy.
this.
Hey.
So this is something I'm struggling with that I didn't struggle with before on eBay, but now that I'm filming shop-alongs on YouTube, I'm struggling with this. So if it's controversial and y'all don't want to talk about it, just say hard pass.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
Do you guess?
Culturally or racially inappropriate or sensitive things that you're seeing while you're shopping? No.
No, but that's interesting.
Okay.
No. I was wondering, so if I know I keep using this as an example. So I'm doing a shop along, and I see this, and I see that it's $3. And I film it and I show it and it's $3 and I haul it. But I know that this cup is worth a minimum of $20 or $30 or whatever it's worth. And I put it up on eBay. Have you guys ever had people get mad at you or say like you're trying to like, because I feel really bad about it because I know that if I get something for $3, the good side of the angel on my shoulder is like, well, you paid $3, sell it for $6, double your money. But it's like I had to do all that research, that footwork.
Yeah.
I had to invest my money into it, my time into it. So I'm struggling with that a little bit, showing what I pay for items versus what I'm selling them for, because I do have that guilt on me a little bit.
No.
So how do you guys deal with that?
Here's the thing. Let me break it down to you like this. And I think that there's a big misconception. It's okay, let's do this. So one of the biggest one of the biggest criticisms that I get in my channel, in the comments consistently, is just that I don't buy enough. Okay. Here's the thing. When I see something and it is $6 and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pass on it. The reason I'm going to pass on it is because of that exact point. Is because, yes, I can buy that for $6 and I could sell it for $12, no problem. I made $6, okay? Keep in mind, I could then have to go out, take the time, and I think all of you can attest. If I bought 15 items at $6 each, and my profit margin was about $10 on each one, I made $150 in 8 hours just to source, to film, to edit, and then I've got to sell it. So then I take the time selling it, then I got to take the time to ship it and take it to the post office.
And shipping materials, which are not cheap.
No.
So at the end of the day, I just spent 2 days making $150. Now look, I know there are a lot of people out there in the world that are struggling, like for real, and $150 would mean some real serious life-changing thing. And that's a scary thing, and I know that, and I'm appreciative, okay? But at the end of the day, if that's the kind of money I was going to make, I would stay at my job and not worry about all this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we can't go out and make $3 on everything simply because, well, I doubled my money. And I will do that on some things because I want as many people to be able to buy something from me as possible.
No.
So I do want to have $10 items, but
now here's the thing though too, that okay, Arianna, this is something that will happen, especially if you start doing live sales. And it's something, and Michael knows, this is something that I really struggle with, and I have struggled with it for a very long time, is when things sell during a live sale for over the market value.
Yeah, I know, like, because then
it
sinks your stomach, doesn't it? Like,
it does, but at the same time, it isn't. You can't look at it as it's your fault. You started it at what it is, and the market being the people that are in the sale are the ones that are determining the price on that item.
right.
Yeah.
So everybody can look up things. They know. That's why I like to do a little bit of a preview before my video. I like to post pictures on Instagram. I know that not everybody has an Instagram, but I do. I post pictures of every single thing I'm selling every week on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, then you don't see the preview. But today I went live on Instagram and did a whole haul. I did a whole sale preview. So I think that's something that I really struggled with, but
people also pay for not just the item, but the item from you specifically,
Right.
because they are fans of yours, and they
that takes a little bit of that's a very hard concept to grasp as well. But I sit and think about me. I support other YouTube channels. I pay membership fees because I want to support their channel.
Yeah.
I do Patreon because I want to support their channel. I mean, I myself am supporting several other YouTube channels through Patreon, through memberships, because I want to be able to give them a little bit of support. So they
Yep.
may not be doing live sales, because a lot of the ones that I follow aren't necessarily reselling content creators. And it's just a way that you can support. But that's a very hard concept to grasp because you're like, who am I?
Hello, me. You are Poshy Pate. That's who
Oh,
you
I'm
are.
Tasha Pate. That's who I am.
I love it, Randy.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Randy. Randy. I'm gonna put a clown in your
Okay,
box.
guys, so come to my channel, and my first piece of merch
Poshy Pate.
is going to be I'm friends with Poshy Pate.
There you go.
So please check it out.
That's an awesome merch
Posh
t-shirt.
boss.
Yeah.
You started it.
Posh boss. Actually, look at this cool shirt. Isn't this cool?
That's
Is that new one you were
adorbs.
talking about?
They're all blow molds.
Is that from Creepy Co?
I don't know. I've had it for a couple of years. I think I got it on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
Very
Well, ladies, we're a little past 10. So I
Boo.
guess just in conclusion, I guess obviously we'll go around and do like the round robin thing, but I just, obviously want to thank everybody for coming, not only Diana and Arianna, but of course everybody down in the chat. It is always a tremendous pleasure. And I guess I was really excited to have you ladies on, simply because Diana, I have gotten to meet. Arianna, I was just immediately taken with when I saw her video per Misty's recommendation, and I let her know I did.
He did. He's like, she's got a good intro and everything.
Yeah.
She come right out the gate. She came right out the gate.
Did awesome.
So I mean, you know what? And ladies, if there's nothing more, it's interesting because I did a live sale last night on the Vintage Bunch, and I want to thank Misty for the opportunity and for her sharing of the Vintage Rescue Squad is to be able to promote people that are really good people and that are putting forth the time and are putting forth the effort, and they deserve just as many eyes, just as many viewers, just as many opportunities as anybody else out there on the platform. So the fact that we can do this is absolutely amazing.
Look at that Ashes comment. Arianna and Diana should do a live sale collab together.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Shall we? We must talk.
You must talk. It could be the
That's a
blonde.
good idea.
Yeah.
Just to Hori's spawn.
Stop! Just stop.
The hoarded horror,
The
Horty
horror.
The Horty horror show.
Good evening, and bye bye now for now.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my
I love
goodness.
You're silly.
that. Go ahead.
Don't go back. Don't go.
Well,
You
I
go.
was just gonna say, I don't know if you've noticed at the very end of my video, I have this fun little song that I've added to the end of it. And I just love it. But it's just kind of like I really like the beat of it, and then I got to listen to the whole thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like that. So that's the thing with having an introduction. Then you get really sick of that same gosh darn song. I'm like, I'm gonna change it. So I changed it. So I think that's okay every once in a while just to switch it up a little bit. And I've had pretty good response to it. But then I was editing last night, and Mark came in and he was like, what the hell is that music? And I'm like, that's my outro. And he was like, okay.
That's funny.
Mark.
Yeah.
Diana, did you see someone said we should call our sale "Whore in the Trunk"?
Oh, I saw something from
The withering trunk.
the junk in the cottage, or
The junk in the cottage.
This was a great first introduction to
yeah.
YouTube Live. I'm so glad I came.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks so
see?
much for having me.
You know, we just say what comes out of our mouth. Well, I do.
Mhm.
Michael thinks about what he says a little bit more.
Michael, real quick, do I have
Most
time to show
often.
my thing?
Yes, you can. Well, honey, look, you want to show your thing on your own channel, do that. But
That's what whores do. They show our
Mm.
things.
You know,
we ain't
and
at
I'm
the whore in the
most
trunk now.
modest person
This isn't
that
the
like
whore in
you
the
could
trunk
ever come
sale.
This
across.
ain't the whore in the trunk, girl.
Y'all are making me.
That's funny.
Anyways, no, I showed Michael something before we went live because I am obsessed with it. I just got it this weekend, and I just wanted to show you guys just for funsies because it's amazing. But let me
Bougie.
just show you this real quick because Michael said I could.
She's bougie.
Okay, so it's this. I got it at an antique show in Atlanta this weekend. But watch, let's see. You press that button.
Oh, I've seen those. Beautiful.
It's for your yipsticks.
What?
Yeah, so it would stop and you'd take your lipstick out and you'd put it on and then you close it back and put it back in the
Oh, you know what, Ariana? Yeah, you could
No,
put
they
your,
do make cigarette boxes like this one, but this one is specifically for lipstick. They do
That's your-
cigarettes and lipstick, but
Yeah, that's really cool.
What?
Very bougie lipstick holder.
and it's made out of this like jadeite marble. It's amazing. I just wanted to share that.
It
with
is.
you guys.
And you match it. It matches your shirt.
Mhm.
Do you
and
see
you-
why I keep the things I keep? It's a
Well, I
problem.
mean, I would probably keep that.
Yeah.
Huh?
I probably would keep, but like for like 6 months, and then I'd sell it.
Okay, so 6 months from now, you guys come back and I'll sell you my lipstick holder.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for the invite to come on this show because I watch it every week and I love you guys dearly from the bottom of my heart. And I do. You've taught me so much, and just being in your presence is just, gives me life. So,
Love you, Diana.
and I just appreciate everything that you guys, give to the reselling community, not just me, but to everybody. And
they really are great guys. We're not being paid to say this or anything. They're amazing people.
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Well,
True
if you
enough.
asking me, I say, even with all the smack talk tonight, Misty.
I mean, I just say, just believe whoever told you. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
I love you, Barb.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I guess don't forget tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Misty's channel, Thrift or Junk or Vintage Hunter. We will be doing our live sale. And if you're on Instagram, you'll see pictures coming out.
Yes. Well, mine are already out. And then after Michael and my sale, my daughter Emma and I will be going live on Instagram to have an after the sale. Yes.
See the
Sale
importance
infinity.
of Instagram there? Mm-hmm.
Yes. The Instagram sale with
BB's Cool Vintage says Michael is hot stuff.
Well, he is.
Ooh.
It's hot stuff.
Oh goodness, guys! Thank you.
Yeah.
Where is Miss Diana at? We need to count
Where's
on
Diana?
Miss Diana.
We need to see where Diana is at.
Where am I at?
We need to count.
Ooh, and Catherine's gonna come on. She's gonna be on Vintage Rescue Squad one night too. I think having her and Barbie Girl on would be great. Next week, Vintage Rescue Squad will be on my channel, and it will be with the Pride of Iowa, Sarah from Thrift U, and Sam.
Nice.
And little baby Jeff.
Oh.
And for future reference, Misty's the only one that could call him Jeff. Please, y'all, for your own sake, do not try to call him Jeff. It will not go over well for you.
He doesn't even like that I call him Jeff, but I don't care.
Woo!
Oh, yay!
Yay, thank you everybody for supporting my channel too. It's grown in leaps and bounds since
Okay.
I
Well,
was Misty's.
we're gonna hold YouTube to
So
it to have a sale collab. I think that would be a good
We're
let's
gonna have
You
to
two
work
are
on the
so
name.
lovely.
No.
That would
yeah,
be.
we'll work on the name thing. Yeah, but
Well, you don't have to.
Mhm.
Michael don't even, and I don't even have a name. We're
No, I
just
just
like,
mean
No.
from the comments. It was
yeah.
came on a little strong.
I say go for it. It will definitely catch people's attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can say that. I don't want to be known as that.
Honey,
Yeah,
I
that's
get
gonna
sex
be
spots
tough.
on my Sunday night sale already. So I mean,
hot girls. Hot
hot
girls.
girls, hot guys. Come
Oh
on.
goodness.
Well,
Mhm.
Junk in her withering cottage.
is that what they call it now?
How did this happen?
Oh, that's
I
the
am
greatest.
There it is. That is the sale. That
That
is
is
the
it.
sale now.
Oh my
It's,
God. The
you know what?
withering junk. Oh, but yeah, but Jamie, did you see Junk in her withering cottage? I think that might
Withering
be.
junk sale.
Mhm.
We should go through these,
I'm literally
Ariana,
crying. You guys
and
are
write
killing me.
down all of them.
Crystal is saying just not withering junk.
No.
No, we don't want that.
Mm,
No.
mm-mm.
Oh, the
Oh my
charming sweethearts. Oh, Nancy, that's so sweet. That's a good name too.
Cottage junk.
Jamie said, "I take it back. That one went." Yes.
So
Now
who
listen,
gets
you could have Ariana, you could have your daughter be your Vanna, and then Diana, you could have Johnny be yours.
Okay.
Perfect.
I've asked if he would want to be like my partner, you know,
Yeah.
during sales or whatever, and he'd be up
Just
for it.
Thank you
No.
so much, minus the O. So happy you came.
That's so fun. All right. Well, I could sit here and talk all night, but it is
It's
I
time.
know.
people. It is time to go. So, ladies, thank you all so very much, and thank you everybody that has come along. Don't forget everybody's duh. everybody's links are in the description box down below. Made it super easy for you. It's all you have to do is hit that link, hit subscribe. It is free, no cost, and you would be supporting some really great people.
Yep.
I know everybody would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, everybody have a good night, and thank you so much for coming. We'll see you around. Bye.